All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Web Development 1100 C# programming class online for the spring 2024 semester, I'm creating a series of videos based mainly on the PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint slides that come with their textbook. C#, Mirror C# 8th edition. But in addition to that, I've been working on a payroll program that I've kind of converted over to an employee program. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to rename this the employees one, employees 01, and then I'm going to copy it. And as you'd probably guess, I'm going to put it into employees 02. And then I'm going to open that up. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make modifications to the employee class. All right. Such as, well, I'm removing these hours worked and the hourly rate from it. All right. So I'm getting rid of those two fields. These class methods, I'm going to keep the calculate gross pay, but I'm going to get rid of the other two for now, at least. All right. And where we've got public class, I'm going to change that to public abstract class employee, and I'm going to get rid of, again, the hours worked and the hourly rate from here, and the hours worked and hourly rate from here. Okay, this is just doing a little cleanup work here. All right, so I'm going to remove these. All right, so I'm going to keep in here the employee number. I'm going to keep in here the employee name. All right, I'm going to keep in here the last name, the has insurance, the hire date, and the birth date. All right, this hours worked and hourly rate, I'm getting rid of those. I thought I was getting rid of them, but evidently I didn't. There's the hourly rate. All right, looks like I might have one too many curly braces here. There we go. All right, now, and it looks like I still have hours worked and hourly rate, but those are in here. So this calculate gross pay, I'm going to change that in just a minute. And it's going to be just public decimal calculate gross pay with a colon on the end. All right, I'm going to get rid of virtually everything else that's in here. Okay, so again, this is my employee. As mentioned, I came in and I removed the hours worked and the hourly rate, and I removed a couple of the methods, just kept the calculate gross pay, which is going to be an abstract method. All right, let's see. That looks good, that looks good. All right. So it says this must be marked abstract as well. All right, that should have gotten rid of all the errors that I had. Okay, so that's a start. All right, now let's come in and let's create an hourly employee class. So this right here, I'm going to do a file save all, and I'm going to create a new class in here. So I'm going to add a class. It will be hourly employee. .cs. I'm going to immediately make this public. I want to check something here. Okay, looks like using system is all I need. Probably it's going to be all I need here too, but we'll see. All right. So as mentioned, what we want to add in here is our hours worked, our hourly rate. All right. And we want to figure out our gross pay in here. Okay. So let's do that right now. First thing is this public class hourly employee is going to inherit from employee. All right. So that's the first thing. Now, hourly employee does not implement. Okay, it doesn't have the calculate gross pay. We're going to get that in a minute. We're going to have in here private decimal hours worked, private decimal hourly rate, and then let's put in our constructor. And again, it'll have a string for the employee number, a string for the first name, a string for the last name, a bool for the has insurance, a date time for the hire date, a date time for the birth date, and then our other two, our decimal for hours worked, and our decimal for hourly rate. Now that's it, except what we have to do next is put in here a colon and let colon base. And basically what we're going to say in here is the employee number, the first name, the last name, the has insurance, the hire date, and the birth date. All right, and all of these are going to end up being handled, all right, by employee. Well, now something in here it doesn't like, so let's see. Oh, no, let's see. Okay. Well, let's just look at the errors. Hourly employee does not implement. It's going to implement that in a minute. Let's just put that in here right now. Public override decimal calculate gross pay. All right, that'll get rid of one of the errors. Now, for now, let's just return 0M. We'll write that one later, okay? All right, so it says this must declare a body. Oh, I know what that is. I didn't put a body in there. Well, when you're creating a constructor, you better make a constructor, right? Yeah, this I'll have to look at. I don't know what the problem is with that. But this dot hours worked, we're going to try something different here. Equal, and we're going to say math dot max 0M math dot min 84M hours worked. I'm going to try to change this around just a little bit and see if by doing this, I don't want that. All right, if by doing that, 1, 2, it looks like we need one more here. I want to make sure that this is going to check for us on our maximum and minimum. So it's going to do our validation. Here it's going to be 0, and this is going to be 99.99. And of course, this is for hourly rate. All right, so that's done. Now it says that it doesn't like the birth date because of its protection level. Okay. Private date time, hire date, private date time, birth date. That's what I had. Date time, hire date, date time, birth date. Nothing new there. This dot hire date is hire date. This dot birth date is birth date. There's no errors in here, but it is giving me some in here. So let's see if we can figure that out. Employee, private decimal hours work, private decimal hourly rate. That's perfect. All right. Oh, that should just be date time. I don't know how I got date set time in there, but I did. All right, so that is now date time. That fixed one of the errors, but it still doesn't like this one. So it's saying that it doesn't understand birth date, although it's right there, date time, birth date. And is it in here as date time? Yes, it is. Birth date. Date time, hire date, date time, birth date. Well, it says employee.birthdate is inaccessible due to its protection level. Still not sure what that is. It says an object reference is required for the non-static field, method, or property birth date. So both of them are on this line. Just not sure right now what the problem is with that. First name, last name, has insurance, hire date, birth date. What is wrong with that? It says generate read-only property here. Yeah, but we don't want that here. We're not doing it there. So you got rid of the error, which will now come back. But why hire date is being handled the same way? Public date time, hire date, public date time, birth date. Get, return hire date, get, return birth date. This dot hire date equal hire date, this dot birth date equal birth date. Date time hire date, date time birth date. I'm looking for something that's different between these. Date time hire date, date time birth date. And personally, I don't see it. Okay, let's come back to here again. Again, this is saying that these are right here are all of the parameters that we have right there. And out of those parameters, the employee number, the first name, the last name, the has insurance, the hire date, and the birth date. Notice that is not lighting up. Ah, there we go. There we go. All right, all our errors are all gone. All right. So let's go in here and do our calculate gross pay. Let's actually write this now. All right, why? Because this is really the only other thing we have to do in this class. But we don't want it like this. We don't want return 0. Okay, so if the hours worked is less than or equal to 40, and I'm not playing around right now with constants or anything else. We could add some of that stuff, but I'm not doing it. So return hours worked times hourly rate. Pretty much what we had done before. Else. So otherwise, we want to return 40 times hour, whoops, not there, not two of them, sorry, times hourly rate, that's our straight time, plus hours worked minus 40 times hourly rate times 1.5. All right, still doesn't like something. We're going to fix it. So we've got these two go together. I actually don't think I even need this. Probably don't need that. Oh, I must have made one of these a double. Okay, we'll make that an M. And we'll make that an M. See if that fixes it. There we go. All right. So we now have gone in and we've handled everything for our hourly employee. The only thing that's different in an hourly employee is the way that she or he will have their gross pay calculated. All right. So let's do a file. We don't need that system data, I don't believe. You can see it's fairly small. It's only about 35 lines. So file, save all. And now let's do our pieceworker. So we've got an hourly employee and we'll have piecework. We can call it piecework or pieceworker. I'm going to call it pieceworker employee. All right, so I'm going to add another class here. It will be called pieceworker, piece, P-I-E-C-E-W-O-R-K-E-R, pieceworker employee .cs. There that is. Again, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. And again, I'm going to make this public. All right. Now we'll need two additional pieces of information, not the same two as before. These will be private, decimal, price per piece, piece, and a private int, pieces per hour. They recommend piece count, but I'm going to use what I had. So pieces per hour. All right, next we'll put in our constructor. I'm going to steal the constructor from the one I just created and make some changes. In fact, let's just grab everything from that one. And we'll make our changes accordingly. All right. Now we're going to get errors. Don't worry, they're going to be gone literally in a matter of minutes. So I do need that. Decimal, price per piece, and an int for pieces per hour. All right. In here, we didn't write that method, so somehow I lost that line of code. So that will be public override decimal calculate gross pay. In fact, is that even correct? No. Okay, not a problem. So we've got this. Now we've got to come in here. Let me fix this. Get rid of that. All righty. Okay, we're almost there. Again, there's going to be this dot price per piece, and it'll be this dot pieces per hour. This will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 1M, and this will be 100. This will be price per piece, and this will be pieces per hour. Okay, we still got a little work to do here, it looks like, but we're getting there. All right, so this is very simple. It's one line. It's return price per piece times pieces per hour. Okay, that's it. So let's see, method must have a return type. All right, that isn't true because it's the constructor. And let's see. It says piece worker employee calculate gross pay. No suitable method found to override. Well, that's interesting. And I'm getting the errors. Why? Because I didn't say here, colon employee. That should hopefully get rid of all my errors. Let's see. Well, we got this left. Method must have a return type. Still doesn't like that. So public hourly employee. Oh, that's because this is a piece worker employee. That's what happens when you go in and do a bunch of copy and paste. Okay. All right, so that one's done. So now I first went in. I just want to go back and do a quick review. We went back to the employee class and we removed the hours worked and the hourly rate. We kept everything else in here. All right, we made the class abstract, meaning it is not possible to instantiate this class. This is the class that all the other classes are going to inherit from. All right, we kept the employee number, first name, last name, has insurance, hire date, and birth date the same. Again, we got rid of the hours worked and the hourly rate. And then we made an abstract method called calculate gross pay, meaning that any class that inherits from employee must have a calculate gross pay. So that was the employee. Then we did hourly. We added back in, because they're hourly workers, the hours worked and the hourly rate. In our constructor, we added those two things into the other 6 we had, and then we let the system know that the first 6, those being employee number, first name, last name, has insurance, hire date, and birth date, will be handled by employee, and we have to handle hours worked and hourly rate. Then we came in and we wrote our calculate gross pay. This time, we did account for overtime. All right. Okay, so we've got all that. Again, I'm going to do for up file save all. And now we just finished our piece worker employee. So now the other 2 variables are price per piece and pieces per hour. We added those in to our constructor. We again told the constructor that the other 6 fields, employee number, first name, last name, has insurance, hire date, and birth date, will all be handled by employee, because we are inheriting from employee. And we will handle the price per piece, which has a minimum of 0, a maximum of 1, and the pieces per hour, which has a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 100. All right, Simply put, our calculate gross pay is price per piece times pieces per hour. All right. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the commission employee next. Don't worry about all these errors in here. They're gonna flush their way out. All right. In fact, let's just take everything that we have in here. This is the main program. I don't want to get rid of it. We might be able to use some of it. So let's come in here. In fact, what we'll do is we'll comment everything that's in it out. Okay, and then we'll come back and uncomment if we can or need to there. Now that's all gone, so our errors are all gone. So let's create a commission employee. We now have hourly employee and piece worker employee. So let's come in here and again do an add, go down to class. This will be commission employee.cs. Again, we're going to make this public. Now I'm going to try to make this a little easier on myself. I'm going to add two variables, private decimal, commission rate, and private decimal sales. All right, now we'll do our constructor again. And again, maybe this is a dumb way to do it, but it's the way I'm doing it. So I'm going to grab everything that's in here. In fact, again, we'll grab everything that's in there for the rest of the function, and we're going to put it in here. We have to make changes, you know that. So this is going to be commission rate. First of all, let's make this inherits from employee. All right. Then in the constructor, this will have to be commission. And then we will need a decimal for commission rate. And we will need a decimal for sales. All right. And this will again be, so that's sales, and this will be commission, get that out of there, commission rate, and so will this. All right, almost done with this. This was 0, and the maximum rate was 50%, which was 0.5 M, and our sales was going to be a minimum of 0. Let's put M's on these. Since it's 0, I don't think it matters. And our max is going to be 100. I think we said 100,000 M. Oops, M. All right, and then to do our calculate gross pay, again, it's pretty simple, and it is return commission rate. Oops, lost my return. Return commission rate times sales. So that one's now done. All right, so we came in here, made sure we were inheriting from employee, added two new fields, commission rate and sales. All right, so why don't we put in here, so these are commission employee fields. Okay, let's put the other ones in too. So these then are our piece worker fields. Piece worker employee fields. These are commission employee fields. And these then are our hourly employee fields. Okay, now those are all done. Let's do a file, save all. Should be able to close our hourly, our piece worker. We'll keep our commission open. And now we're going to do our salaried employee, which is probably the easiest out of all of them. So let's go in and add a class, and that will be salaried employee.cs. Again, public. Again, inherits from employee. Doesn't like something in there. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, it's because that's not what inherits from employee. That is. There we go. All right, so public class salaried employee. It doesn't have the calculate gross pay yet. So we'll put that in. In fact, let's just throw that down here. Public override decimal calculate gross pay. And all that has to do is return the salary. Okay. Now in here, we will have our salaried employee field. There's only one. So it will be a private decimal salary. All right, we will again have our constructor. All right, again, I'm just going to cheat a little bit here. So that's got to be changed right away to salaried employee. And this in here is cool, but all I need in here is decimal salary. All right, and this dot salary, we'll use that one there, okay, equals math.max 0m math.min, and again we had like 10,000 here, and that will be salary. All right, so as far as I know, everything is cool. It's not showing me any errors. So what we did was we made changes to our employee.cs file, and then added to that file, not added to the file, but added other classes that inherited from the employee. We added first hourly employee.cs, which inherited from employee.cs. Then we put in piece worker employee.cs, which inherited from employee.cs. Then we put in commission employee that inherited from employee.cs. And finally, we put in salaried employee, which again inherited from employee.cs. All right, so now let's come in here. And what I want to do is I want to go in and create a bunch of employees in here. All right. So I am going to get rid of these. In fact, I am going to get, well, I'll leave that last one up there in case I'm able to use it. All right. So I'm going to create a list with 12 employee, not employee objects, with 12 types of employee objects. Okay. So we'll start here with list, and I'm going to say list hourly employee, and we're going to put here hourly employees equal a new list of type hourly employee. Again, we're going to immediately fill this up, so that's why I'm doing it this way. All right, so this will be new hourly employee. And again, our IntelliSense comes in, tells me everything we need. So we'll call it H1000 for hourly, 1000. John Doe for the has insurance, we'll put in true. All right. For the hire date, we might even put this over 3 lines. I don't know. We're going to put in a new date time. And we'll put in here, again, I'm just making this up. We'll say that we're hired in the year 2000. And they were hired on, let's say January 1st. Okay. And for their birth date, all right, we'll do another new date time. And we'll say their birth date is in the year 1990. And it is 12:30. Again, I'm just making it up. It doesn't really have any significance here. All right. Now, what's left? Hours worked and hourly rate. So hours worked will be 40M and hourly rate will be 25M. So there's our first employee. All right. That should have a comma, not a semicolon. I always do that. I don't know why. So let's add 2 more. So we will add 1001 and 1002. John's wife Jane works there. All right. She was hired in 1997. On 11/11. And her birthday will be 1990 as well. And we'll say 1/1. 1/11. So that's her. She makes more money than John does. Don't know what's going on there, but we'll fix it in a minute. Forgot my paren. All right, we're going to say she worked 50 hours and makes 30 bucks an hour. All right. Finally, let's come in and we'll have somebody else. This will be Mary Black. Mary, unfortunately, does not have insurance. She was hired recently, 2020, and she was hired on 7/7. And her birthday will be 1981, and it'll be 6/24. She will make 30 bucks an hour, and she worked last week for 40 hours. Or, I'm sorry, she worked for 30 hours. She makes 40 bucks an hour. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to show you something, and I'm doing it the way I'm doing it on purpose. Okay, so please trust me here. So I'm going to come in here and I want to display some of this stuff. All right. So I'm going to say for each var hourly in hourly employees. Okay. And I'm going to put a console.writeLine in here. In fact, a lot of them. All right. And I'm going to put in here kind of like we did before. In fact, maybe I can steal some of this stuff. So let's uncomment this. All right, so we have, so that'll have to change to hourly. No problem. All right, looks like there's a couple things here we have to fix, and that's it. All right. Dot. One thing we didn't do, and I'm not sure if we're going to have to do this or not, but let me check in here. So this was hourly employees. We do have in here hours worked and hourly rate. We've got both those, right? All right, but one thing we never added in here were getters and setters. So I'm going to come in here and do this. I'm going to say public decimal hours worked, get, return. Shouldn't need this. I should just put in hours worked. We'll put in leave of this. That doesn't hurt anything. And set. All right. Okay. I'll be the first one. And then let's do another one for hourly rate. So you got hours worked, and this will be hourly rate. Now, hourly rate. Did that fix the errors that we had in here? And the answer is yes. So this has got to go to hours worked. All right. All right. Now, let's see if it put our 3 employees in there. All right. Again, I'm going to need to get rid of that console.writeLine or console.readLine. I need to uncomment it. So does it have my 3 employees? All right. John Doe, true, 40 times 25 is 1,000. Started then, there's his birth date. All right, Jane Doe, 50 times 30, she has 10 hours of overtime that she should be getting at $45 an hour, so 450. That's right. All right, and her birth date, and then Mary Black, 30, 40, 12, that works. Now, let's see if we do put an error in here, if we get it. All right, what do I mean? I'm going to come in here, and for Jane Doe, I'm going to put 500 in there, and I want to see if it picks it up or not. So File, Save All, run this, see if we get an error. We did not. File, Save All. This would be Jane Doe. Where is it grabbing that from? Oh, since we put in something that was out of range, 500, it replaced it with our max, which was 84. So if we put 300 here, it should replace it with 99.99. Let's run that again and see if it did. So 84 and 99.99. That's kind of cool. All right. So when those were out of range, like that, that's how we fixed them. All right, so there's the first ones. We've got 3 more to go here, 3 more types. All right. And then we're going to try something and see if we can get it to work. All right. All right. So we've got these here. You've already seen them. So I'm going to just copy all this. And I'm going to put it down here. All right. Don't worry. All right. So for each piece worker, employee, and we're going to call this piece worker employee. Okay. And that's going to be a new piece worker employee. All right. All right. Now, there's not many things we're going to have to change in here. Okay, we'll make this P1000, P2000, and P3000 for piece worker. All right, so we've got those. Let's change the names. So this will be Maggie, May. All right, we'll say that her date times. So her hire date would be 2021, 10/10, and her birthday will be 1975, 9/30. All right, and the last 2 things that are in here, okay, are how many. What were they? They were the price per piece and the pieces per hour. So that's why we're getting that error there. So the price per piece is going to be 0.75, and the number of pieces made in an hour will make 60. All right, and that's not an M. All right, then we've got Brian Clark, and we're going to flip these, so this will be false. What do we have here? We had true, true, false. So here we're going to have false, false, true, just for something different. All right, Brian Clark will say that he was hired 2009, and his birthday will be 1971, 11/6. All right. He is making 50 cents a piece, and he made 85 pieces. Finally, the last one that we'll have in here will be Gloria Gladstone. She was hired in 2005 on 8/7, and her birthday will be 1981. It's fine. 4/12. All right, she makes 95 cents a piece. Let's put $1. She makes $1 a piece, and she made 80 pieces. All right, so we've got all those. All right, now for this var, this will be var pieceworker in pieceworker employees. All right, so this will all have to change, of course, to pieceworker. And these aren't hours worked and hourly rate anymore. This is price per piece. I'll do it like this, price per piece, like that. And this will be price per piece. Don't know why it doesn't like it, but hopefully we'll figure that out in a second. And this one will be, so it was price per piece, and this one is pieces per hour. All right. That will be a C. Not a C2, just a C. And this will be pieces per hour. And this is not going to be formatted. So it doesn't like two things here. So let's fix those so we can run this one. All right. And it says here, piece worker employee does not contain a definition for price per piece. Well, let's check that out. Oh, it's the same thing we didn't do here. So we need to bring in these two, and then we'll just change the names. That's on me, sorry. All right, so let's bring those in here. We'll bring them down here. And this just, we'll have to change the names. This is not a decimal, this is an int. And we need a big P there. All right, did we get rid of all of our errors in here? Yes, we did. All right, so file, save all. Let's run it again. And now we've got our original 3 employees here. 1, 2, 3, and we've got our 3 new employees here. 75 times 6 would be 45. 85 times 40, 50 times 85 is 42.50, and $1 times 80 is $80. So far, great. So good. Everything's working. All right. Next, we are going to do our commission employees, but let's go and grab these. Okay, and let's go back to our commission employee. And after we calculate the pay, let's drop this in. And again, it's okay. We're going to fix it right now. It's commission rate and it's sales. All right, and the last one again is sales. With a capital S. All right. All of our errors are gone. That's good. So again, file, save all. All right. And let's go back to our program here. And now we're going to do the same thing again. but we're going to have, so create a list with 3 hourly employee objects, and then we created a list with 3 piece worker employee objects. See where I'm getting for time here. I'm okay so far. I'm getting close though. And now we're going to do this again. So now we're going to come in. Don't worry, we're going to have 3 commission worker employee objects. All right. All right, commission. This should just be commission. Was it commission worker employee or just commission employee? It's commission employee, not worker. So let me get rid of all the word worker in there. That's why I'm getting these errors. Okay. All right. Now we have to make a couple changes, or we don't have to, but we will. So this will be Donald Gray. And we're going to make this false, false, false. And Donald was 2010. We'll keep the 1010 there. And we'll say his birthday was 1985. And we'll make that 330. Okay. And with him, it is commission rate and it's sales. All right. So we'll give him the full commission rate of 50. And we'll say that his sales were $5,000. So he's done. Doesn't like that. Why not? Represents a decimal number. What did we say it was? Decimal sales. Decimal sales. Sales, sales. That all looks okay. Not sure right now what the problem is, but we're going to figure it out. That was commission, yeah. Oh, I thought I put in 5,000 M, and then I didn't like it. No, it looks like it's okay. All right. Betty Franklin. She was hired in 2008 on 8/8. And her birthday will be 1988 on 11/8. All right. Remember, the maximum here is 50%. She's new, so she's at 25%. And she had $10,000 worth of sales. All right. So this is going to be commission, commission, oops, commission, and commission. And this last one will be George Wilmer. George was hired in the year 2000, and it was on 11/30, and his birthday is 1967, and we'll make it 212. And he gets 0.45 M, and his sales were 25,000. I think we said the max was 10,000. So let's make that 10,000. Let's make it 8888 M. All right, now we got to change these. This should just be commission employee, not commission worker employee. Don't worry if we're getting any errors in here. Hopefully we're going to get rid of them in just a second. Why is... Oh, right here. We didn't put an S in there. All right. Now, you can see we still have piece worker here. So that'll fix that one. And this is different because his are commission rate. And that'll be a percentage. Let's make it a percentage with 2 decimal places. And this will be sales. And we will make that a C. Okay, so let's see if we've got these people in here now. So file, save all. Got an error. Somehow I changed that one. So let's put in here 49. Okay. All right, so file, save all. We should now have 9 employees. There are hourlies. There are our piece workers. And here are our commission workers. 50% of 5,000 would be 2,500. 25% of 10,000 would be 2,500. 45% of 8888 would be 39.99. That all looks good to me. So we have to do our last one, and we're going to make one change, and we're almost finished here. All right. And when I say a change, it's not that we're going to add something new. Okay. All right. So those were our salaried employees, which I don't think we've gone down and changed this. And there was only one. So that's all we have to grab for this one. That's down here. And it's public decimal salary. And this is salary. And this is salary. All right, so that's all fixed. All right, and let's come down here to our program file. And we just added this. So I'm going to add it one more time. Now, we're not doing anything with final totals in here. We can worry about that later. All right. So we want to come in here and we want to change all this. So this should be salaried employee in salaried employees. I got to start it here. Sorry. So this is salaried employees. That should say commission employee objects, not commission worker. So this should say salaried employee objects. And this will say salaried employee here and here. And this will say salaried employees. All right. New salaried employee, new salaried employee, new salaried employee. All right. So this will be an S and S. So we had what? Hourly piece workers, salary, and commission. Yeah, that's fine then. This will be an S. All right. These will all be salaried employees. So the first one can be Ken King. These are going to be true, true, true. The reason we're getting these errors right now is we've got an extra field in here. So let's make this 3000M. We'll make this 13,000M, and we will make the last one 6789M, just like that. All right, now let's change the names. So this is 1001, 1002, 1003. We changed it to King Ken King. His hire date will be 2011 on 11/11. His birthday will be 1969 3/21. All right, this will be Kate Craig. And her hire date will be 2003. And we'll make it 3/9. And her birthday will be 2008. No, that wouldn't make any sense, would it? How about 1978? And we'll make it 1/21. Finally, the last one will be Bert Kramer. All right, he was hired on 1996, and he was hired on 8/26, and his birthday will be 1960, and it will be 1/8. All right, so let's make these last changes that we have to make in here. Salaried employee, salaried employee, salaried employee, salaried employee. This will be salaried employee, but this will be salary. All right, salaried employee, salaried hire date for the employee and for the employee. All right, now we have no more errors. We should get 12 employees to print out now. Okay, 1, 2, 3 hourly. 1, 2, 3 piece worker. 1, 2, 3 commission worker. And 1, well, I got to change that. It shouldn't say price per piece. All right, change that. And we will in a second. Okay, so let's fix those. So our hourly is good. Yeah, that's hourly everything. That's our piece worker. This is our commission worker. So instead of price per piece, this should say commission rate. And this should say sales. All right, and finally down here, instead of price per piece, this should say salary. All right, again, let's save this. Run it one more time. All right. Hourly. Okay. Hourly. Piece worker, piece worker, piece worker. Commission worker, commission worker, commission worker. The salary is the gross pay, so these are identical. So we could have left one of them off. I'll just leave them there. That's fine. Now, only one more thing that I want to do here. You may realize this, you may not. Okay? What I'm about to tell you, you may realize this, you may not. All right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all 12 of my employees. All right? So just bear with me for a second, please, if you would. All right? And I'm going to start here. I'm going to grab these 3. I'm going to copy them to the clipboard. All right, now I'm going to comment these out, and I'm going to comment these out. And I'm going to go down to the very bottom here, and I'm going to paste those back in. You'll understand what I'm doing in a minute. All right? Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for the second one. I'm going to grab all 3 of these employees, copy it to the clipboard, comment this out, and comment this out. Now I'm going to do something different here. All right, I'm going to say here list employee. All right, and I'm just going to call it employees. Am I down at, I'm not, yeah, I am down at the bottom. Good. No, it was not. All right, I'm going to come down here. This is at the bottom here. So this is going to say list. This is what I want, way down here. And this is going to say employee. And I'm going to call this employees. And this is also going to say employee. Don't worry that right now it's going to look funky. We're going to fix it. All right. All right, so there was the 3 employees. Now I got to add the next 3. And the next 3 I want to add are my commission employees, which of course I now screwed up, but we're going to fix it. All I have to do is remove those comments. So let's uncomment these. All right, so we now have these employees, and that's fine. So now I'm going to go, so far I've had my, these are the piece workers, and I didn't comment them out, so we're going to comment them out right now. All right, these are my commission employees. And again, I'm going to comment these out, and I'm going to comment out what's below. All right, and I'm going to add those commissioned employees right here. All right, finally, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab these 3 employees who are salaried, and then comment this out, and then comment this out, and I'm going to add those employees down here. All right, now what I'm going to do for each one of these is I'm just going to make a fairly simplistic change. All right, so for each one, I'm going to say employees dot add, and then I've got to get rid of this. This is here. Employees dot add. In fact, I think that's actually right the way it is. Do I need another paren there? Okay, we're going to fix it. Don't worry. Employees dot add. All right, employees dot add new hourly employee. Boom. All that stuff. And it should be here like this. Now, what doesn't it like here? I don't have to say employees.add. I can just do it like this. There we go. Now, you might look at that and go, who cares? Well, look at what we have in here. We're adding, this is an employee. This is an employee. This is an employee. And this is an employee. Now, when we print these out, remember the way that their gross is calculated is different for each kind. Should you care, you will have to care here. Whoops, sorry, instead of uncommenting, I double commented. All right, so for each employee in employees, all right, so this is going to be employee number, employee first name, employee last name, employee has insurance. This we don't use anymore because it's not salaried. So employee insurance, employee gross, try it again, employee, come on, gross, try that again. Employee gross, employee hire date, employee birth date. All right, so I put now all 12 of my employees together, and I made them all of type employee. We should get the same printout we had before. Doesn't like something here. And we don't need that. Okay, so let's see if we get the same printout, the same results that we had before. And we do. Now, this was not meant for you to go, oh my God, or anything like that. But what I wanted to show you, all right, what I wanted to show you was all of these are of type employee. So doing what we did right there is totally legit. There's even other ways this could be done. All right, I'm not going to get into those right now. All right, in just a couple minutes, because I must be way over an hour now, and I am. This is the longest tape so far. So in just a moment, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go over not chapter 16. No, ma'am. I'm going to go over chapter 15, and we're going to talk about interfaces and generics. See you then.